I've just closed down Simply Safety and I've moved to the accessory program Simply Safety Alert. This program is normally only used by the safety manager to set up and send automated email alerts on things that are expiring. Most users would not have access to this program or be required to use it. And my purpose in showing you here today is, if you're involved with training, it may be important that you know how this program works and what it can do. A typical question that we're asked is, how do we generate training due reports? This is probably the best way for you to generate training due reports. I'm not going to show you how to use this application because the safety manager should be able to use this application and it's covered in other movies, but I will show you a training due report. So we've got a number of about 5 reports at the top of the screen. I'm going to click on this report here called Training for All Sites. That's the name of the report. Now in the middle panel we can see that there's a number of expiring item types that we can pick, but the only thing that's clicked on is training due. And in the bottom panel we're filtering by all regions, all companies, and all unassigned employees. At the bottom of the screen there's a Run Now button. If I click on the Run Now button, it quickly generates a list on the right hand side of the screen of training due. If I click on this node, that opens up to a detailed list on all the training due. You can use this grid to sort in any number of ways, for instance by course name. You can also click on the checkbox on the upper right side of the screen and email this list or print this list. But probably the most effective way you can use this application is by setting up scheduled alerts that get emailed out. So if I click on the plus button to the left of Training for All Sites, which is simply what I've called my report. I could have called that report Training for the Houston site or Training for the Calgary site. If I click on the plus button to the left of the Training All Sites report, we can see we have one schedule set up. This report is scheduled to go out every month on the first day of the month at about 7 a.m. starting on this date and forecasting 60 days ahead. To edit that schedule, click on the schedule and click on the Edit Schedule button at the top of the screen, and that shows us our detail on the schedule. So this particular training due report, which is set to send all the training due in the entire company, is set to go out monthly on the first of the month, looking 60 days ahead at about 6:58 a.m. and this button here, Select Recipients, shows us we've got one person checked off. Joe Doe is set to get this. We got one message that goes with this report saying this is your monthly training due report looking forward 60 days. So I've now flipped over to my Microsoft Outlook, and just to show you an example of a training due report that's gone out. That's what it's going to look like. Notifications to students when you set up a class or to supervisors would look like these emails. So again, as a review, Simply Safety Alert is set up and managed by the safety manager. The biggest advantage of this application is to allow you to set up scheduled reports on expiring items that get set out to managers on a predetermined basis. So you can set up your managers at every site to get a monthly, weekly, even a daily report of items that are expiring, including training due.